In 2018, I started to become an entrepreneur. I recorded videos, sharing my personal story as I am doing with you now. And then in this process, I encountered so many people that call themselves spiritual. One of their main points they made was it doesn't matter how you call God, Allah, Jesus, Yahweh, because it's all one and the same. Later in my life, I discovered that this might not be true. Because if I would later in my life as one of those people, would you call God not universe but Allah or Jesus or Krishna, whatever, then they would say no. So I told them, then to you it does matter how you call God. Some of them even argued, a good friend of mine, I am part of God. So tons of different mindsets, and I really thought that whatever you choose, first in my life, I thought it wouldn't matter. But if the way you think depends on your culture, depends on what you put your faith in, your God, then in the end it will matter a lot. But these vague terms as universe, it's energy, it's love, and then asking these people, what does love mean? And then there's this great Bible verse which explains what love is. It's not hateful, it's respectful, whatever. But they couldn't really explain their faith. So as I started thinking about this more, I saw that these people were really trying to reinvent God because they couldn't find God in Islam or Christianity. They thought these religions are just made to control people. Have you ever heard of this argument? But then they also said, like, every war is because of religion, so the world would be more peaceful without it. Then I started thinking about the comments they made about it's just a stupid book. So, first of all, 7% of all religion or of all wars in the world are caused because of religion. So 93% are caused because of greed. And the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. So greed, being greedy is the root of all evil. And telling, like holy books, you might say Bible, you might say Quran, are a way to control people and are like funny, like why would you put your faith in a book? Then I would say to such a spiritual person, like I really have these thoughts and questions in my mind. If I would write whatever your life philosophy is, write it down in a book, and then someone would buy it and they start to implement whatever your life philosophy is into their lives, wouldn't it be kind of the same like following the Bible or following the Quran? Because people look at the outside like a book, like it's just a book, so it doesn't care. But it's not just a book. This is like my video could also be a book. It's just a ways of communicating. Then I remember speaking with my friend from Montenegro, drinking, listening to old Yugoslavian Balkan music, and speaking about why would you believe in old stories? And he was like, you never know if it all truly happened, like the story of Jesus Christ, for example. And then I told him, like, what are you and I doing now? He was like, we're drinking, listening to music. What are we drinking? Rakia, like a typical Balkan drink. Okay. What if someone would write about us being here together, listening to music, and we were drinking milk instead of rakia? Would it be true? And he was like, no, because we're not drinking milk, we're drinking rakia. I see. So, but imagine if we would write this down this day and what happened. Will in 1,000 years the fact that this happened and we happened to write it down in a book, will it change? He was like, I don't understand what your point is, Marko. Well, my point is, what happens during that day, like the fact is that we drink rakia, not milk. Like no one can change that. Then the argument comes, if it's 1,000 years later, because he was like, these books are like a few thousand years old, it's not true anymore because you cannot really discover whether it actually happened that way. And I was like, it doesn't matter that you think you cannot discover it, because whether it did happen or did not, like Jesus drinking wine or these kind of examples. But my point is, people, you and I, we make history every day. I'm writing these videos, you could say, yeah, well, he's lying his whole story, you could say that. but it doesn't change the fact about me telling my true life stories and having my own point of view in it. So I think if you would write a book yourself about your life, maybe you're a spiritual person. I just have a different opinion than you because I'm Christian now. And imagine religion would be no more. Then you would eventually, if your book becomes successful, and maybe a couple of thousands of years it would become successful. I don't believe so. It's not easy to write such a book, right? So let's respect books as the Quran, as the Bible. But if religion would go away from the earth as we know it now, and spiritual persons would start describing what faith means, then they would make again their own religion. You cannot live in a religion-free world. That's my main point. And let's respect what we have built up until now and not reinvent God. He has been invented already. He has a message for you. Are you ready to listen or not?